There is a category of creatures in this world that have been spotted by a few, but whose existence has never been proven. We collectively refer to these creatures as unidentified mysterious animal. In short, UMA. Hello everyone, and welcome to the UMA video series. Peaceful and docile. This is our inherent impression of most small to medium-sized, herbivorous animals. But today's subject is quite the opposite. A quadruped with erratic behavior, a distorted form, and a potentially threatening nature toward humans. The legendary monster said to roam the Appalachians. The not deer. Not deer. The not deer is a cryptid I've been following closely lately. As the name suggests, it is usually described as looking like a moose or a white-tailed deer, yet possessing certain physiological features that distinguish it as something bizarre. Compared to ordinary deer, their limbs are longer, often appearing to have extra or misplaced joints, and they can even stand or walk on two legs. Most terrifying of all, their eyes are not located on the sides of the head like a deer, but are forward-facing like those of primates or felines. Due to this strange morphology, combined with stiff movements, aggression, and a lack of fear toward humans, it is also known as the zombie deer. The story of the not deer has exploded in popularity on the internet in recent years. Many witnesses claim to have seen them in the mountain forests at night. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, discussions and speculations about the not deer continue to grow. Let's first take a look at these two video clips. This video appeared on TikTok on July 8, 2021. It remains one of the most popular not deer videos to date. The person who filmed it is Colleen, who was once a prominent blogger on Tumblr. Video continues. This video was uploaded on March 17, 2022. The author is a paranormal blogger named Twilight Mall. He has collected a large number of similar video submissions, including many materials regarding abnormal deer. According to my research, the term not deer first appeared in the United States on August 21, 2019. 62. A blogger named Violas, known as a pink witch, replied on her homepage to a question from an anonymous user. The content was as follows. Anyone who has spent time in Appalachia knows about the not deer. If you've been on the Blue Ridge Parkway at night, you might have seen it. In a sense, it should be regarded as a piece of folk cryptid lore. Everyone's encounter with a not deer is different, yet there are similarities. When you are driving through remote, densely forested areas, you might get the illusion that you are lost. In such a setting, seeing animals crossing the road or shadows of small creatures in the headlights is perfectly normal. But then you see a deer, and you or your friend exclaims, "Oh, a deer." You slow down to keep it from jumping in front of the car. Then, as you get a better look at it, you realize something is definitely not right. Its eyes are uncoordinated. You feel a weight in your stomach, as heavy as a stone. The hair on the back of your neck stands up because you sense an intelligence that shouldn't belong to a deer. Its movements aren't deer-like. They're more like, "Oh, God, what is that thing? Whatever it is, it's not a deer. We have to go." You floor the gas and immediately flee the scene. This was the very first description of the not deer. The blogger used a second-person narrative to tell the story and mentioned below that several of her friends had gotten lost on the parkway, and upon their return, they told similar, creepy stories. They were not the type of people to lie or exaggerate the truth. The driver even claimed he saw a deer standing in the road on its two hind legs. After the post was published, it quickly went viral. More and more people began replying with their own similar experiences. For example, a user named Did You Notice wrote, 2 summers ago, in the Appalachians, only about 2/3 of a mile from his home, While walking, he heard movement in the brush. He turned to look and saw that about 30 feet away from him, a deer was standing there, staring at him without moving a muscle. Since wild deer usually run away immediately when they see humans, this surprised the witness. Then, the deer began to breathe heavily and emitted a low growl. The blogger's exact words were, "I swear to God." This thing's eyes were blank, completely lifeless. It suddenly took a few steps forward, but the movements were very strange. I was startled. What on earth was going on? It kept staring at me while running to a spot about 50 feet away. The sensation was incredibly unsettling, beyond what words can describe. I knew right then, that thing definitely wasn't an ordinary deer. I ran all the way home. Another user named Root and Salt stated that they had seen a similar situation, but that animal had more joints than a normal deer, facing the wrong way, with very strange bending points. They described it as a bizarre creature, somewhere between a wolf and a deer. It was 2019 when a post titled "Not Deer Stories" appeared on the Appalachians subreddit on Reddit, aiming to collect origins and more information about the not deer. The most famous reply came in 2020. A motorcycle enthusiast nicknamed Grease said he had lived in Waynesboro, Virginia for 5 years. One late night, due to insomnia, he decided to ride his bike alone onto the closed Skyline Drive, heading toward the first overlook, about a kilometer into the national park. When he arrived, it was already 11 p.m. He was suddenly overcome by a suffocating darkness and a sense of unease. Even the large caliber handgun he habitually carried didn't provide enough of a sense of security. After about 10 minutes, the hair on the back of his neck suddenly stood up. As an Iraq War veteran, he keenly felt like he was being watched by a gaze full of malice, experiencing a pre-battle type of anxiety. He stayed in the darkness for about another 10 minutes, and that feeling grew stronger and stronger. Small sounds began to emerge from the woods. Grease didn't hesitate. He jumped on his motorcycle to leave. But as he was riding slowly down the mountain, he encountered that giant deer-like creature. His original words in the post described it like this: "The phrase deer-like is perfect. I'd even say incredibly accurate. It was like a deer drawn by someone who had never seen a deer before, only heard it described. He was standing on the left side of the road. Before the headlights fully illuminated it, I saw its eyes. It was massive, without a doubt the largest deer I've ever seen. And it had no antlers, suggesting it was a doe. Its head was like a cow's, but fixed onto a deer's body. The ratio of its legs to its body seemed too low, almost like a camel's, and its chest was incredibly broad. Its behavior was very bizarre. Grease tried to use the motorcycle's lights, the roar of the engine, and the horn to drive it away, but the creature seemed to have no innate sense of fear. It remained indifferent even to human shouting. Just as Grease tried to approach the roadside to find something to scare it off, this deer-like animal suddenly stood up on its hind legs and, with a stiff and unnatural posture, took a few steps toward the center of the road. Then, like a kangaroo, it hopped on its lower limbs into the darkness on the other side of the road and vanished. Faced with this terrifying scene, Grease jumped on his motorcycle, terrified, and prepared to flee. But as he aimed his headlight toward the direction where the animal had disappeared, he suddenly realized the monster's head was peeking out from the edge of a sheer cliff, just staring at him. Terrified, he quickly accelerated and escaped the area. Since then, he has never dared to enter Skyline Drive. Alone at night. Just imagine a zombie-like animal standing right in front of you. What would that feel like? I think that might be the embodiment of fear. But what if that embodiment turned into a surging, living flood? The game I've been playing lately, Life After, with its new zombie nest version, successfully captures that feeling of post-apocalyptic despair. The nests are massive, with 500 zombies attacking on a single screen. This time, they are fiercer and faster, with a horror atmosphere. To fend off the tide, you can use everyday items and your imagination to create traps. utilize blades, washing machine spikes, fan blades, TV pendulums, scrap metal cutters, and more to hold your safe house and survive the crisis. TikTok was the most explosive platform, including the two works we mentioned at the beginning. Many people claimed that they had, at some point, seen such weird-acting wild deer. The sheer volume of videos and self-reports makes one wonder if there truly is a creature distinct from a deer lingering in the Appalachian region. According to American skeptic researcher Kai Jian, as early as 2014, posts about deformed deer appeared on the American 4chan forums. Anonymous sources described them as creatures with pointed ears and elongated snouts on all fours, walking in a way that looked like a newborn deer learning to walk for the first time. Only it didn't look like a deer, but more like a pieced-together walking toy, and it was huge. Currently, the most popular speculation regarding the not deer events suggests they may stem from certain animal diseases, such as chronic wasting disease, CWD, also known as zombie deer disease. Zombie deer disease is caused by prions. It's a transmissible spongiform encephalopathy affecting deer, similar to mad cow disease in cattle and scrapie in sheep. This fatal disease generally occurs in adult animals. Symptoms range from initial difficulty, moving to listlessness, trembling, nervousness, repetitive walking patterns, excessive salivation, and teeth grinding, and even a loss of fear toward humans. CWD was first discovered in 1967 by a government research facility in Colorado among a herd of mule deer. But it wasn't until 1978 that it was clearly defined as chronic wasting disease. Since then, it has been found in captive and wild animals in 33 U.S. states and 5 Canadian provinces. Infected species include elk, moose, white-tailed deer, and mule deer. The reports we often see lately about American zombie deer stem from this very disease. Additionally, episodic hemorrhagic disease, EHD, can also cause behavioral imbalances in deer. This is a non-contagious viral infectious disease found throughout the United States, primarily infecting white-tailed deer. Infected deer typically exhibit sudden lack of fear, weakness, loss of appetite, increased salivation, rapid pulse, and respiration, skin peeling or lesions, and accompanying fever. Some deer may have swelling in the head and neck. If we assume that the not deer sightings are true, then these two diseases can provide a relatively logical explanation for witness descriptions. Since most people have never seen an infected deer, it may create a cognitive shock for the witness, further leading to the creation of these reports containing supernatural elements. Naturally, this also led people to combine these supernatural events with images from folklore. This figure, for instance, skinwalkers, the witches in Navajo belief, who can take the form of animals, has become almost a unified theory in North America for unidentified biological entities. Any ominous animal is seen as a potential skinwalker. Then there is the Algonquian legend of the Wendigo. The popular deer-headed image in recent years has also given people a seemingly plausible direction for reasoning. But I still believe that using the unknown to explain the unknown is clearly illogical. Investigator Q. Jian believes people habitually view the not deer as just a story. But given the large number of personnel, our EPORTING not deer sightings across various locations in the U.S., he believes that at least some people did indeed see something. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that some may have made up stories purely for entertainment or to deceive the public. Personally, I think the biggest issue with a not deer event is the lack of authenticity. Almost all detailed sighting reports come from anonymous narratives. Investigator Qi Jian tried to contact some well-known content creators. For example, the author of the first video, Callian. The reply received was that it was just a deer. The sanctuary where she was located is home to various deformed and injured deer. It's just that they had never appeared in such an open area before. Many deer, because they were harmed by hunters and rangers in the past, habitually hide away. Furthermore, the blogger Pink Witch, who originated the term, also admitted on May 18th, 2025, that is May 18th of this year, on her blog, that she created the term, not deer. Her inspiration was based on stories she heard while living in the mountains of western North Carolina. She explained that not deer and skinwalkers have nothing to do with each other. In other words, its origin even comes from third-hand or even fourth-hand information. How much of it is exaggerated or fabricated is even harder to verify. Therefore, I am more inclined to believe that the not deer belongs to a type of emerging urban legend because of its unique and weird image and stories with slight horror elements. It is sought after by people. Of course, this is just my personal guess. As for whether such a creature or concept exists, I think it still has to be left to time to prove. After all, even now, every year, there are still a large number of not deer stories and videos spreading on online media. Perhaps there really is a type of quadruped walking in the dark that has not yet been discovered. Or perhaps there is some special disease spreading among deer in ways we cannot imagine. Who can say for sure? All right, finally, the same old saying, the unknown is always greater than the known. That is also the charm of UMA. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.